was in that last start in April at Gulfstream.
Yeah, and you know what? He broke a little step slow, but recovered. He got challenged early on, Greg, and he fought off that challenge and took it home by a clear lengths.
So if you are Damon's Mountain, where do you want to be after you see in his last race? So, you know, his last 2 races have been kind of restricted Florida-bred races. He's kind of jogged in these races. Is that everything his own way? Does he get it again?
I think he gets it his own way right out of the gate. I haven't seen a sprint race of this caliber, a grade 2 sprint race, with so little front-end speed. Usually in these kinds of races, there's so many horses that are quick right out of the gate and want to show speed. It just doesn't present itself here.
Wayne Catalano, the trainer of this one here, built pretty sharp trainer as well. Said picked out this spot when it became pretty clear that Bookham Dano and, of course, Ben Tornado would not be here. Ben Tornado, last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint winner, out for the rest of the year with an injury. Let's go back to Acacia.
Makes things a little bit more wide open for this group in here today, Greg. And I, like Tom, am going to land on Damon's Mound, as I touched on back in the paddock. I think tactically he has the advantage. And while, yes, he was a little bit more subdued in the paddock, that's not the case once he's gotten out there onto the track. He kind of grew and puffed himself up, and they're opting to warm him up with the pony. Again, the key with him is to not do too much prior to the race even beginning. But I thought he looked fantastic. All the respect for Built, and I agree with Wayne that the outside post should help, but speed is hard to beat.
It usually is. As for Built, though, Mig, 6-5 right now, and all the things he's accomplished this year. He's not a graded stakes winner yet, but he did produce a track record at Fairgrounds earlier this year.
Yeah, very talented individual, and I actually do think the outside post benefits him because he's not the quickest away. But Wayne Catalano, over 1,500 wins as a jockey, over 3,000 wins as a trainer, combined 4,608 victories.
Including a Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. That was with Aloha West. Jose Ortiz was aboard that year. Let's go to Maggie.
Take a look here at the other Bill Mott horse, and that is number 7, T. Craft, in here, as he looks exceptionally well back in the paddock and on the racetrack. I know he has yet to run a fast as of race as his stablemate in here, Damon's Mound, but I do think there is potential. We got the tightener way back when he was coming back off of a layoff on the turf, then he won, and then last time he broke a half a step slow. He was further back than he should have been, and he just never really looked happy, taking kickback and down on the inside. He was just mired in dirt and other horses. I'm hoping with a outside post today, as opposed to the 1 hole, which he had last time, he can find himself in a more comfortable position. Boy, does he look fantastic out here. And with that kind of missing speed in this high-level sprint race, he could be sitting closer. Doing around back to him momentarily. He might have somebody looking down on him to run well. We lost Bernie Flint, a longtime trainer in this game. He actually trained the dam of McKinsey as well as the dam of him. Greg?
This race named after the man who became the director of Pimlico, worked to bring about the famous match race between Seabiscuit and Triple Crown winner War Admiral 1938, and brought the pari-mutuel era to New York. And of course, bred and owned the immortal native dancer's only loss in 22 career starts was in the Kentucky Derby with a brutal trip that day. Grade 2 Vanderbilt. It is Built, the favorite for Wayne Catalano. Rad Ortiz Jr. looking for his 4th winner on this Saturday card. We send it upstairs on our Fox Saratoga Saturday coverage. Frank Miramati, the call.
Built will be the last one to load. Walks up. They're in the gate. Ooh, that is number 1, Damon's Mound, rearing up in the gate. Junior Alvarado climbed off and right back aboard. Standing up is Junior, getting set in the gate. And wants to make sure. Straightening him up. And they're off in the Alfred G. Vanderbilt, and Damon's Mound wastes no time out of the gate and speeds to the front. Built is showing good early pace too, and him on the inside, a close-up third. T-Craft is fourth, heading to the half-mile pole, 3 lengths off the lead. Cat on time, and the hopeful winner, Nutella Fellas, at the back of the field. Damon's Mound is the leader with Built in pursuit. The 2 favorites 1-2 into the far turn. The opening quarter went in 22 3/5 seconds. T-Craft is third. Him keeping pace along the inside. 4 off the pace in fourth, then Cat on time. And Nutella Fella, they're coming to the quarter pole. Damon's Mound and Built joined 3 wide by T-Craft. The half in 45 seconds flat. And Built puts his head in front, and he quickly starts to sprint clear. Him is chasing with determination into second. Damon's Mound along the inside. His 16th pole, and Built is powerful in the Alfred G. Vanderbilt. He won for fun. Him completes the exacta in front of Damon's Mound.
Built, Wayne Catalano tough. And the 4th win on the card for Arad Ortiz Jr. First graded stakes win for the man who celebrated his birthday just last night. That's his 4-year-old Built breaking through with that career victory.
What a big race. I mean, we knew there wasn't much pace in here, and these 2 horses, Damon's Mound and Built, went out there together early on. But Irad was sitting like a statue on Built, and when it came time to run, he was able to kick clear. Hey, we didn't beat the favorite, but let's not forget, handicapping is not a game of perfect. We got other races.
I tell you what, there was never a moment in this race where Built didn't look like he was traveling like a winner. He broke sharply, put himself just off of Damon's Mound, who also broke alertly after acting up a bit in the gate. And then when he left Damon's Mound, it kind of set Damon's Mound up right to be picked off by him late for second, because he did the dirty work trying to fight King Kong there.
You know, since they went back in sprinting, you know, they ran in the Pate Mile, Louisiana Derby. They kind of hit the reset button. He's had a W. He went on the turf. But ever since then, I would think this another one. This could be his 4th 100 buyer sprinting. So he's been a different horse since spring. I'm happy for Wayne Catalano. This horse's next move is going to be see he can conquer Grade 1 company.
Guys, you go back to early in his career. He beat Magnitude.
Yeah.
In a stakes race in the 2nd start of his career. Magnitude's the best older horse in the country, we believe, right now.
Yeah.
8-6-1-7. It's Built sprinting now what he does, and he gets his first graded stakes win. Let's go to Maggie.
And this is the 3rd win for Arad Ortiz in this Vanderbilt as Built. I feel like it was supposed to happen that way, Arad. But at the start, in the gate, we saw him not standing perfectly. You opted to have him back out to ensure that he was standing well to get that good break.
Yeah, last time, unfortunately, we don't break that well. I think that's very unlucky. He still run a good race, so I just want to make sure to break out of there, clean break. And we asked God to reset because he wasn't standing good, which he allowed me, and then he stand very good, and he broke okay. He broke with the field. After that, just let him be him.
I think he has a crush on my pony, but let's talk about the filly in the next race. Counting Stars out the back of her CCA Oaks win. Arad, there isn't an abundance of speed now, and you have an inside post. What's the game plan?
I mean, let's see how she broke so well last time. Let's see how things go into the first turn, and then we can make a decision. I mean, it's not too much speed on the race. She showed a little speed last time, so I'm not afraid to take it. I'm not afraid somebody goes to just sit off of it. So we got plan A and plan B.
She's really nice. She's heading into this the right kind of way, but congratulations here with Built.
Thank you very much, Maggie.
Greg?
Meg, he is in the zone right now. 4 wins, and he's got Counting Stars to come.
And just what he said now, go in with plan A, but have a plan B. Just a thinking man's rider as well as a physical rider.
Let's go to Acacia.
And we have some very happy partners with Eclipse Thoroughbreds here in the winner's circle. I'm joined by Michael Newton. Michael, you're dressed for the occasion, looking fantastic. Congratulations. What a race.
Thank you. It was wonderful. And, you know, Wayne's got it all figured out. He was hot. Take advantage of it. And it's a great opportunity. It's phenomenal.
This horse has been in such good form. When he broke so well today, how encouraging was that?
Oh, very good. He just sat off his flank. And as they went through the far turn and Irad just kind of shook the reins at him, he I wasn't not going to say I was for sure, but I was pretty confident. Certainly when we hit the 8th hole, it was done. So.
Can you put into words what a graded stakes win at Saratoga means for the partners and the team?
I'm 58 years old. I've been here 56 years out of 58. I'm coming down from Montreal, and this is about as good as it gets. So yeah, speechless, but I don't think I'll stop talking the rest of the night.
You were very eloquent. Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Greg.
Big win here for those Silks Eclipse Thoroughbred partners. Unfortunate news for them. Just came out earlier this week. Journalism, last year's brilliant Preakness winner, sustained an injury coming out of the gate, spotted the field about 5 or 6 lengths, still won the San Diego prep for the Pacific Classic, but announced afterwards, after the win, would be retired to stud duty.
Yeah, so nice replace. Well, you can't replace Arzaya, but take a little bit of the sting out.
Tom, what does this feel like, Tom?
Feels like I'm sitting next to him at a Saints game. He's a big Saints fan in New Orleans. And, boy, when he cheers, you know it.
Now what does it feel like when you're 3 clear?
I'm going to tell you what, that's pretty sweet, right? When you get to a point in a race where you know you're going to win, you can just kind of coast home. Bill ran huge. Not only did he take this field, but as soon as he made the lead, those ears came up, right? And he was waiting for a command from his rider. He had plenty of energy left.
These guys have been pretty good to Wayne Catalano. Arad Ortiz Jr. aboard here to bring Bill his first ever graded stakes win. And, of course, brother Jose delivering a Breeders' Cup Sprint win to Wayne Catalano on Aloha West. 4 and counting for Arad Ortiz Jr. Could this be number 5? Counting stars. Handing, always a runner, the first defeat of her career when they met in the Acorn here at Saratoga last June. Can she do it again? Round 3 coming up in the Coaching Club American Oaks when we come back.
To punch with love, I never stray, it's in my blood.